Alright, we're looking at page 6 on your Unit 2 note packet. So make sure you have that out. I do want you to be writing down what we're going over as we're taking a look at it. So what we're looking at here is solving absolute value equations and inequalities. We're just going to take a look at one particular type of absolute value equations. So the first thing I just want to go over is a little review over what absolute value is. So that's when you have the distance of a number from 0 on the number line. The distance of a number is from 0 on a number line. So that first problem we have it just as a recall one. We want to know what is the solution to the absolute value of x when it equals 9. So keep in mind when you have two parallel lines and a value inside, we're looking at the absolute value. Now we have two answers here. The absolute value of 8, the distance from 8 from 0 on the number line is 8. But then also the absolute value of negative 8 is also 8. So we have two solutions here. X could equal negative 8 and x could equal positive 8. So we have two solutions when we took a look at absolute value equations in pre-algebra. Now the same thing is true when we're looking at absolute value equations. So since absolute value considers a negative and a positive, we solve two separate equations. So our first example we're going to take a look at is the absolute value of x minus 7 equals 2. Our first step is to remove the absolute value bars, and we're going to set the equation equal to positive 2 and negative 2. Just as we saw in the absolute value of x equals 8, our solutions was a positive 8 and a negative 8. So we have to set this equation to the positive value of what we're given and the negative value. When you're solving absolute value equations, this answer will always be positive because we cannot have the absolute value, take the absolute value of something and it be negative. So it's always going to be positive. So it's always going to be the positive in the value. So step 2, solve each equation separately. We're solving the equation x minus 7 equals positive 2. And then x minus 7 equals negative 2. Then you solve just as you've been doing for years. These both are one-step linear equations. Add 7 to both sides. So we'll get x equals 9. Add 7 to both sides as well. So we get x equals negative 2 plus 7, which will be 5. So these are our two solutions. So x equals 9 and x equals 5. So we can box that entire expression. So that's our solution. That whole thing. So when you're solving absolute value equations, you will always have two solutions. There is one exception. If your absolute value expression equals 0, then you'll just have 1, because 0 can't be positive or negative. But if your absolute value equals a value greater than 0, you're always going to have two solutions. This is the most common thing you'll see, two solutions. So we're going to take a look at two examples. So number 2, we have the absolute value of x minus 4 equals 8. So we're going to set x minus 4 equal to positive 8, and then x minus 4 equal to negative 8. So it's the positive and the negative value of the answer we have there. So we'll add 4 to both sides. So we'll get x equals 12. Next one we'll add 4 to both sides. So we get x equals negative 4. So our solutions here for number 2, x equals 12 and x equals negative 4. 3 is the same type of problem. We have the absolute value of 2x plus 6 equals 10. So we're going to set this equation, or the value inside the absolute value, to positive 10, and then also to negative 10. So that first one, we'll subtract 6 from both sides. Get 2x equals 4. And we'll divide both sides by 2. So we'll get x equals 2 for one solution. And then 2x plus 6 equals negative 10. We'll subtract 6 from both sides. We'll get 2x equals negative 16. And divide both sides by 2. So we'll get x equals negative 8. So our two solutions are x equals 2 and x equals 8. So that's how we solve absolute value equations. And make sure you have page 6 filled out, and I will see you in class on Thursday. Have a great day.